In the meantime, while bombs are dropping, new fears that lawmakers will drop the whole budget ball. Republican Senator John Barrasso says not if he can help it. The senator joins me in the flesh. Always good to see these guys in the flesh. When I discovered that they have a full body that accompanies the upper torso. Senator, we are a very sort of a scatterbrained society. I don't mean that in a bad way, but the focus on Libya, the focus on Japan, all of a sudden the budget goes down. What do you make of that?
Yeah, there are a lot of distractions. Number one, with Libya, I think the president needs to tell us what our role is and what our goals are. And that's a concern. He needs to explain that to the American people.
Has he talked to the leadership to say that?
I talked to one of my colleagues, a Democrat member of the Foreign Relations Committee. I'm a Republican member. Neither of us have heard from the president at all on this. He has a right to do what he has done, but I think the American people and our men and women in uniform, and they are doing a terrific job, always have.
Because I always remember John Kerry saying that about President Bush, that he didn't inform, he didn't tell people. Mm-hmm. Is it just the shoes on the other foot?
Well, I mean, the president has been disconnected on a number of things in terms of his role as a leader. He is, you've read the editorials that he has been, on the bench, on the sidelines, not in the game. And 32 Republicans and 32 Democrats sent the president a letter just this past week to say, Mr. President, you have a responsibility to engage on things of the debt and the budget.
But he's not. He's not. Now, there's a role for that where you play like, aren't you the kingmaker? You come in when, everyone else has dealt with all these details and you put your stamp on it one way or the other. But he is very disengaged. I don't know what the design or reasoning is, but that's a fairly accurate description. He gets engaged in the end, but I'm just saying that style, you think it's hurting him?
Well, I think it is hurting him, and the poll numbers that you just showed, demonstrate that. So, here we are, a year anniversary of the health care law. More people are opposed to it now than were when it passed. You take a look at what's happening with energy, the pain at the pump, the quality of life impact on American families. He seems to be aloof about that. And
do you think he's aloof, period?
Well, we'll see. I tend to think he's been disconnected from a number of things in what is affecting American people at home and the quality of their life and the things that they have to deal with.
The reason why I ask you, Senator, is I talk to quite a few top Democrats, and sometimes on this show, sometimes on the phone, and they said, we'd love to see more drama out of Obama. What do you make of that?
Well, I'd like to see more involvement out of the president in dealing with these issues. We're going to have a
in other words, they want to see him get worked up.
Well, I want to see him getting involved. We have, he is the Obama anti-energy, American energy strategy is going to lead to an Obama energy shortage. The pain at the pump is worse.
He is just the opposite. I am engaged. I'm looking at all energy alternatives. These Republicans are mischaracterizing me.
Well, the average family in the United States is going to pay $700 more this year to fill up their gas tanks than last year. That's going to impact the quality of life of all families trying to pay their bills, live with kids, pay their mortgage. Those are direct impacts, and we ought to be exploring for energy in the Gulf of Mexico. We ought to be exploring on federal land and in Alaska.
Yeah,
we have a lot
of
red,
all of you guys,
energy.
and no offense to you, Senator, you're riding the wagon right to the edge of the cliff, if not off it. So we got this 3-week, or whatever it is, government spending extension to keep it going. How do I know when it's time to renegotiate that you just don't shut the puppy down?
It's time to do it today.
But it's not happening today.
It's not happening.
Everything's the last second.
Just in the nick of time. You're saying we can't continue to spend money we don't have. 41 cents of every dollar we spend.
I know that, but
borrowed
you're miles
a lot
apart.
of it from China.
You're miles apart. So, is it fair to say? Is it your sense from your colleagues that if they had to vote on another extension, if they couldn't get this thing permanently resolved, they wouldn't?
I'm happy to take it a slice at a time, to eat the whole loaf that way, if we can get to those larger...
So you would entertain it, because Democrats like Senator Manchin in West Virginia say, not me, I wouldn't do it again.
Mm-hmm. We need to get the numbers down. We're adding $4 billion every day to the national debt, even though the fact that we've cut $4 billion one time, $6 billion another time, what we're adding every day is more than we're cutting, and that's irresponsible. It's unsustainable. And I had
you think the government's going to shut down? Yeah. Your gut?
No, I believe we'll find a solution at some point. It's hard to say. I'm not going to negotiate that out here on television. But if you sit around with a group of people, as I do at home in Wyoming, and said, how many of you think that you have a better life than your parents? Everybody's hand goes up. And you say, how many think that your kids are going to have a better life than you in this country with this kind of debt? The hands come down. People are concerned about the future of this country, and it has to do with the policies and the spending. Last year we spent $3.7 trillion. We only took in $2.2.
No, it's a joke.
Your families
It's a
can't
joke.
do that.
It's a
The
joke.
states can't do that. Washington keeps printing money. It's irresponsible. It's unsustainable. And we have to stop it.
All right, Senator, thank you very much. Very good seeing you.
Thanks for having me.
When we